Today, we begin a journey into one of the most profound teachings in all of Buddhism, the Heart Sutra. Though it is one of the shortest Buddhist scriptures, it contains wisdom so deep that generations of practitioners have spent lifetimes contemplating its meaning. In this course, we will explore the Heart Sutra line by line, not merely as a philosophical text, but as a practical guide to understanding ourselves, overcoming suffering, and awakening to reality as it truly is. Find a comfortable posture, allow the mind to settle, and let us enter the world of the Heart Sutra together. Before we examine the profound teachings of the Heart Sutra, it is helpful to understand where this teaching takes place and why it was spoken. Imagine entering a great temple. Before approaching the altar, we pause, become quiet, and allow ourselves to appreciate the sacred space. In the same way, before studying the wisdom of the Heart Sutra, we first enter the spiritual world in which it was revealed. This prepares the mind to receive the teaching with respect and openness. According to the tradition, the Heart Sutra unfolds during a gathering on Vulture Peak Mountain, a place where the Buddha often taught profound Dharma. On this occasion, the Buddha entered a deep meditative absorption. Around him sat monks, bodhisattvas, and many other beings who had gathered to hear the Dharma. Yet something unusual happened. The Buddha himself remained silent. Instead, Avalokiteshvara Bodhisattva, the embodiment of great compassion, began speaking to Shariputra, one of the Buddha's wisest disciples. This reminds us that the Dharma is not merely a collection of words spoken by one person. Truth can be expressed through anyone who has deeply realized it. Many sutras begin with long explanations, stories, and descriptions. The Heart Sutra is different. It is remarkably brief. It is like a tiny seed that contains an entire forest. Although the text can be read in only a few minutes, generations of practitioners have spent lifetimes contemplating its meaning. This teaches us an important lesson. The value of a teaching is not measured by its length. A single drop of medicine may heal an illness, just as a single spark may light an entire lamp. The Heart Sutra belongs to a collection of teachings known as the Perfection of Wisdom Scriptures. These teachings explore the deepest nature of reality. Ordinary wisdom helps us solve problems, earn a living, and navigate the world. The wisdom discussed in this sutra goes much further. It investigates the very foundations of existence, asking questions such as, what is the self? What is reality? Why do we suffer? What is liberation? The Heart Sutra offers answers not through philosophical debate, but through direct insight. One reason this sutra has remained beloved for centuries is that it addresses a universal human struggle. Every person experiences change. We grow older, relationships evolve, circumstances shift, and eventually everything we hold dear must transform. Much of our suffering comes from resisting this reality. It is like trying to hold water tightly in a closed fist. The harder we squeeze, the more quickly it slips away. The Heart Sutra teaches a different approach. Instead of fighting the nature of reality, we learn to understand it. Through understanding comes freedom. For beginners, the language of the Heart Sutra may seem mysterious. Words such as emptiness, no self, and form can appear confusing at first. This is completely natural. Imagine standing at the edge of a vast ocean for the first time. You do not need to understand every current and depth immediately. First, you simply become familiar with the water. As your confidence grows, you gradually venture deeper. In the same way, our purpose in this course is not to force understanding, but to patiently explore the teaching step by step. Advanced practitioners should also approach the Heart Sutra with humility. The danger of experience is believing that we already know what a teaching means. The Heart Sutra repeatedly challenges fixed views and comfortable conclusions. It asks us to release even our attachment to spiritual concepts. Just as a mirror reflects clearly only when free of dust, the mind understands the Dharma most deeply when it remains open and uncluttered. An important feature of the Heart Sutra is that compassion and wisdom appear together from the very beginning. Avalokiteshvara is known throughout Buddhism as the embodiment of compassion, yet he is the one who reveals the deepest wisdom. This is not accidental. The sutra is teaching us that wisdom without compassion can become cold, while compassion without wisdom can become confused. When joined together, they create a path that benefits both ourselves and others. Like two wings of a bird, both are necessary for the journey toward awakening. As we begin this course, it is helpful to remember that the Heart Sutra is not merely a text to be analyzed. It is a guide for transformation. Reading about a path is not the same as walking it. A map can show the way to a mountain summit, but only the traveler who takes each step experiences the view. The teachings of the Heart Sutra become meaningful when they are reflected upon, contemplated, and applied in daily life. In the lessons ahead, we will explore each phrase carefully, beginning with Avalokiteshvara Bodhisattva and the practice of the perfection of wisdom. As we proceed, keep a spirit of curiosity rather than certainty. The Heart Sutra invites us not merely to gather knowledge, but to see reality directly. Its ultimate purpose is not to fill the mind with ideas, but to free the mind from confusion. This journey begins with a simple willingness to look deeply into our own experience and discover what the Buddha and the great bodhisattvas discovered for themselves. As we conclude today's reflection, take a few moments to sit quietly with these teachings. Rather than trying to remember every word, allow the meaning to settle naturally in the heart, like clear water becoming still after a gentle breeze. In our next lesson, we will continue our exploration of the Heart Sutra and uncover another layer of its profound wisdom. May your practice be steady, your understanding deepen, and your heart remain open to the path of awakening.